What's going on, Undrafted Podcast family? Happy New Year. Welcome to, technically it's Thursday. Hope everybody had a good week. We are your Undrafted crew. I am Coach Danny in your face.
I'm Mel Tarasi.
And I'm Kev.
And we are your Undrafted podcast crew. How is everybody doing this this fine day?
I'm good. I'm excited. I get to be here with you guys. We're all actually in the same house. I made the trip out here. I leave to Cali tomorrow, so I'm excited. I'm nervous. Just anxious to get things going. Looking forward for a good new year.
Man, Kevin, you've been on the road, man. Not very many people know. If you weren't able to tune in to our previous episode, Kev revealed that he is going to California, San Diego to be exact, to pursue b-ball, R2 b-ball specifically, but I was going to say some basketball training. He's going to be an intern under R2 b-ball. But that being said, we are very, very happy for Kevin. We're just excited. What more can we say?
Prayers, and we just wish you the best of luck, Kev. It's been great having you this week, being able to train with you, and just be able to catch up, and just a lot of prayers and blessings for you and your new encounter in this journey. And we know God is going to use you to the best of your ability. So go out there and do what He needs you to do today. We're also going to now put our attention to Smiles Missionary Foundation. Our foundation focuses on offering youth and adults the possibility of a better education and spiritually help them become a good human being. So at this time, it gives each of the participants the privilege of discovering and fulfilling a purpose in this life. So drawing smiles on family faces all over the world is our goal.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. Smiles is very close to all of us. My dad is the founder, and definitely they've been helping us, as well as providing whatever needs across the entire world. So we definitely thank them for giving us the possibility to give them a shout out and to just put them a little bit more on notice. So we really thank them for that, and thank the whole organization as a whole. For our next, finally, we're able to get in contact with Mr. Beverly. Mr. Beverly is a national event operator as well as evaluator for women's basketball. He brings tons and tons of knowledge to us from the women's side of basketball, from recruiting, from running events, social media, all that good stuff. And I mean, I don't want to say too much. I want to let him kind of tell us what he actually does and just give us the knowledge, that we've been waiting for. So thank you, Mr. Beverly, for being here with us. And it's an honor. It's an honor. Sorry for the technical difficulty as well.
Yeah, man, please. I'm used to that. It happens. I want to thank y'all for bringing me on, man. It's a pleasure for me as well, and as well as an honor. So thank you.
Well, thank you so much again. I was researching you a lot this week, and I saw you had a podcast of your own too. So we also wanted to make sure that if you guys can, make sure you follow ballin_prep on Instagram now to give them love, give them support, as well as their podcast crew. What does the word undrafted mean and signify to you, especially with what you do? I'm interested.
Well, to me, undrafted means talent. You got talent, just what do you call it? Sleepers, and talent that everybody that know a lot about. Because you got kids that always go undrafted, but then they put it on the show later on down the road. So, undrafted me means talent that everybody just don't know about, and like I said, sleepers that's ready to rock and roll when they get their chance.
And in your profession, do you ever feel slept on? Do you ever feel or undrafted, should I say?
Me personally?
You personally, yes, sir.
Nah, not even a little bit. Because at the end of the day, I tell people all the time, you have to be able to brand yourself, and you got to be able to fulfill what you want out the game. If you can't worry about what other people think about you or how they feel about you, because at the end of the day, it's all on you. So I never even think about that.
Can you kind of explain to us and to the audience a little bit of what you do, who you kind of encountered, how you got, to that position, just things like that, so everybody can kind of get to know, how important you really are in what you do?
Well, mainly I started off like it was funny when she said coach. I'm actually used to being a coach. I still get called coach, but I start off as a coach, high school coach, travel ball coach, and I used to do, I guess I used to irritate sometimes when when you got kids that can play, and then the so-called evaluators and scouts ain't really giving your kids the love that they deserve, and then you watch them comparing your kids to other kids, and your kids is better, and and nothing, everybody will have a bias. I get that. So I got a little irritated when I remember, people used to come over. I used to start shopping in Alabama. Some people used to come over and look at the Alabama kids, and they start ranking them and stuff. And they ranked this one kid. I mean, she wasn't a bad kid, don't get me wrong, but they were saying she's the number one player in Alabama, this and that. I'm like, wait a minute. You saw her play one time. Yeah. How can you come over here and say this is the best kid in the state of Alabama when all you saw was one kid?
Yeah. I get you.
But I'm like, what the heck? Yeah. So I got a little irritated. So I was, like I said, I was a high school coach at the time. I was a volunteer high school coach at the time. And I was like, screw that. I said, what makes these people the so-called experts? I'm like, heck, I can evaluate talent just like everybody else. So, and probably better. I played the game too. I was like, and people always ask, well, on the girls' side. I said, because girls to me was a pure game of basketball. It's just more pure than me. Because the guys, I hate to say, a lot of them were and one. They want to do this kind of dunk. And to me, girls was just more real-rounded. And either me coach there, and then I had to worry about the street agents. But anyway, let me. I'm getting off the tangent. But the biggest thing was I saw that it was a need for, especially the state of Alabama at the time. Alabama football state. They care less about basketball, and they definitely care less about girls basketball. Because a lot of times when girls basketball side in Alabama, the coach is probably a football coach that's getting extra stipend just to coach the girls. He don't care or know that much about girls. It's sad but true. So I said, I'm gonna start my own website. So I started, and I called it the Bama Prep Girls. And I was just going around. I always travel the state, so I knew a lot of kids anyway. So I started ranking them. And from there, man, it just escalated. Next thing I know, I was in contact with ESPN Hoop Girls, and they wanted me to my take on Alabama kids. And next thing I know, I went from Bama Prep Girls to Ballin' Prep Girls, because now I'm doing it on a national level. Because ESPN was sending me across the country, and I was doing work with them. And from there, man, it just got crazy. Like anytime a college coach wanted to know about a kid from Alabama, I was probably the main person they called. And it's like years ago. It was so funny. I mean, Dawn Staley called me. I think she was still at Temple. And then I started building a relationship with all the top coaches across the country. I mean, they would call me, hey, Prentice, I heard about this kid in Alabama. What you think? And at that time, I didn't have a scouting service. I wouldn't get paid nothing. I got to make sure my wife ain't listening. Because if she ever find out how much money I spent initially just doing all this stuff on my own, oh man, there'd be a little. That's the HEL of it. But anyway,
that's a lot of sacrifice. That's awesome. I mean, from what it sounds like,
I just love the women's game. It was just pure to me, and I like people coming over to our state telling us how good our girls were when you barely saw them. I ain't gonna say no names, but anyway. but it escalated from that, and then I ended up building. I was doing some training at the time, so kudos to my dude Kevin. Shout out to the San Diego gig. You love San Diego. I love San Diego. I go there. It's like about an hour and a half from my house. So I try to make that. Need something, hit me up. But I started training, and I was doing things, and next thing I know, man, I started getting calls from coaches all over the place. At one point, people like Boo Williams, he was in charge. Well, he's still over AAU. He asked me to be the official ranking company for AAU. I did that for like 3 or 4 years, and then it just started getting crazy. I started doing my ball and orders where I take teams like 4 or 5 teams from the U.S. All-Star teams. I ain't taking no garbage. we go up to Canada and we play face their All-Stars, and now that's branching off. We'll be going to Puerto Rico, whatever this COVID stuff get over with, and probably some other countries. But and then, like I said, I just built a network of college coaches and all of all levels, just based off of just trust. Because like I said, I didn't have a dog in a fight. When nobody paying me, I didn't have no players at that point. I wasn't going, like I tell players all the time, help me help you. I'm not going to lie to a college coach to help you get a scholarship, because at the end of the day, it can hurt you. You may get there, can't play, or at that level, and then next thing I know, they don't trust me no more. So now you just messed up opportunity. Well, I messed up opportunity for lying for you. For the next kid that may want to come up. So it's just about we gotta be honest, and you gotta have integrity. And at the same time, like they gonna call you anyway. So
and has a scouting report ever gone, I guess, not the way you expected, or should not turn out the way you expected it in your line of work?
No, I ain't never been wrong.
Okay. I like the confidence.
No,
I like the confidence. I like it.
Let me be. But you know what? The reason why I say I've never been wrong, because I'm not gonna put my name on somebody I'm not sure about. Does that make sense?
Okay.
And I don't put my name on everybody. And like I said, I want you to help me help you. And in certain kids, and if I honestly, I'm a line of coaching. Coach asked me, like, say if Don called me, Prentice, do you think this kid can play at our level? I'm gonna tell him the truth. I'll tell the truth.
Okay.
I don't know, Coach. I don't know. And like I said, if I don't know, I'm not gonna sit there and try to sell a kid, man. Because at the end of the day, you hurting the school they're going to, but more importantly, you hurting that kid. Because now, why you think the transfer rate is so bad? People always in the doggone portal because you got people that sit there and sell kids to programs that they probably know that kid may be a role player at best. Yeah. And if you've been a star your whole life and now you got to play a role, what's gonna happen? You're gonna end up transferring because you ain't gonna be happy.
Yeah, that transition is not gonna be easy.
Yeah, I mean, adults got to be able to tell these kids the truth. I mean, you can't go. Yeah, everybody want to go to UConn. Everybody want to go to, South Carolina, but everybody can't play there. And you, as me as evaluator, if they ask me, like I said, they ain't paying me. I tell them, hey, I think you might want to go to a lower level school. I ain't saying you ain't D1, but everybody can't play in the Power 5. So be honest with them.
No, it's the real.
I try not to be wrong. Yeah, I honestly, I haven't been wrong because, like I said, there ain't too many kids. I said, man, that kid can go. She gonna be one of the special kids. I don't say that for everybody. So when I say that, I truly believe that. Does that make sense?
And would there be something specific if you could narrow it down to maybe at one attribute? Is there one thing that you're looking for to say, okay, that kid's got it?
Well, first, the one thing that every college coach in America wants is size.
Okay.
Everybody, I need a big. So if I'm out evaluating, that's the first thing I'm looking for. Like, I can be in a gym with 20, 30, 40 teams playing at one time, and I can be standing at court right here, like say right here. I might be looking down there 20 courts down because I see some girls like 6'4", 6'5" putting in work. You know what I mean? And people, they're like, you was at our game. I want to watch you. but no, the one thing I look for is, that it factor. Some kids just have that it about them.
Yeah.
And everybody don't have it, but you can tell me that she got it. She got it. And that it sometimes could be like, all right, say you got, because guards are a dime a dozen, right? So when I'm looking at guards, okay, does this guard defend? Will she dive for loose balls? Is she selfish? Does she set her teammates up? That's some of the it stuff. And then the other part is, what else does she bring to the table that's different than the girl right next to her? You see what I mean? Does she have that it? Is she out there communicating, talking to her teammates, picking people up? You got some stars that out there that pocket, they don't pass and the kid mess around and miss the layup or miss the pass, and they mad as hell. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Instead of saying, baby girl, that's okay. I get you next time. That's that it factor. Do you have the right attitude? Do you have the right mindset? And I'm just gonna be honest, a lot of times, are you a dog? Because dogs, like you got two kids, if one a dog and they all got everything else the same, I want that dog. You know what I'm saying? Because that dog gonna fight to the end.
Yeah. No. I got a couple questions to kind of bounce off what you were saying. When you're saying, like if somebody makes a pass, what I'm saying, and you kind of see, they get upset or whatever. Do you think that in itself is kind of showing you that dog in a way, but just in a way they're maturing to get to that? Because obviously everybody, if everybody can make every shot, then everybody would be perfect, and that's unrealistic, But to me, right. What separates you from other, scouts and stuff like that? Is it that you look for that and you don't just look for scoring? Is it that you look for the it factor as well as the attitude as well? What is kind of the difference between having that dog that sometimes within that dog, they're going to show a little bit of immaturity. If that makes sense.
You know what? That just happens. Yeah, that happens. Because a lot of times, like you can have a dog, and I'm gonna give you an example. I had a kid, and she had a little dog in her, and people used to perceive this kid when they watched her as somebody who had a bad attitude. But this kid, her problem was, it wasn't really a problem. She was harder on herself. So if she missed a shot, or she didn't make the right pass, and she didn't make the right play, she would be pissed off.
Yeah.
And people would think, oh, like even her dad, I used to get on him about it. I said, man, your child is different. I said, she is not worried about other people making mistakes. I said, she's mad at herself. I said, that's different. I'd rather a kid get mad at herself than get mad at her teammates. Because like she's still picking up her teammates. So to answer your question better, you can have that dog, and at the same time, it's like a Magic Johnson or a Michael Jordan. They were hard as hell on their teammates. But you know why they could do that? Because they gave you everything they had, and they expected you to do the same thing. So, you know, I don't just say, okay, she got dog in her, but she got flaws. We all, like I said, we all got flaws.
That's very true.
It's what they do when they make mistakes. That's just good. But that was my biggest thing. Like I said, a dog just separates. Like if you got two kids that do the same thing, there's gotta be something that's different. There's something that make me want to sign this kid over that kid.
Yeah.
And that could be it. And then it's crazy, but when I look at when I'm evaluating, I don't just evaluate what they're doing on the court. I evaluate when they walk in the gym, I'm watching them. How are they interacting with their teammates before a game? You know, when they come out the game, how they interact. Do they got attitude? Are they still paying attention to what's going on in the game? Or they just worry about themselves? Are they a kid that's looking in the stands talking to mom and pop? You see what I mean? All the things can be trouble signs because, you know, most college coaches tell you they don't want the coach or the parents coaching from the stands.
Yeah.
Because if you listen to your parents, you damn sure ain't listening to the coaches.
Yeah.
Very true.
You know what I'm saying? And that's a bad thing. And, you know, and I tell parents this, I talk to parents and the players all the time. But at my events, I tell them, look, man, unless your kid is like the one of the top dogs and top players in the country, you ain't about to put up with that. Because they can find that your child, the talent of most of these kids, they can find the same talent and attitude in another kid that whose mama and daddy ain't talking to him in the stands. Like I said, you better be a show enough ball player to sign you anyway, and they know what's going on. Now, what that means, though, you know, when you get their complimentary tickets, you got some behind the bench, you got some way up there in that second and third row. So I tell people they're not just recruiting the player, they're recruiting the family as well. You know, you don't need a parent up here fussing and cussing.
Representation is very important all the way around. That's very cool. And it's also it's a fresh air for me to hear about women's basketball on this podcast. So I'm happy we have someone who is promoting and pushing the growth of women basketball. So we thank you a lot, Prentice, for doing that for our society. I mean, more and more, you know, they're being woke, and I think it's important that how you're doing, you know, from the ground up, you're starting from that scratch area that a lot of people don't even know some of these players. Like as I was going through your podcast, I could see numerous, you know, girls in high school who are, you know, you're putting out there on the map, you know, and that's so cool that it's a way, you know, to build a resume and, you know, like you said, representation. So that's really awesome. And I wanted to ask you a personal question here now. Is there any players in the league now who you've helped and promote and you've scouted? Like, is there anyone out there you're proud of? You know what I mean?
I'm happy because that's way too many to list.
Hey, I'm happy with that. That's how successful you should be. Yeah.
Yeah, I can name tons of them. Arike I've been watching her when she was like in the 7th, 8th grade.
Okay.
Oh man, I can go on all day. Diamond, the Shields, Lexi Brown.
Okay. Nice.
Oh man, you're gonna get me in trouble. Asia Durr. I mean, watch Asia when she was young.
Asia Durr's nasty too. Yeah, Louisville.
She is, man. Megan Walker.
Okay, UConn.
Yeah, I can go on days.
That's awesome.
You gonna get me in trouble, man.
No.
You didn't mention me.
Okay. No, but
Derek Hamby, Asia Wilson.
Okay, Asia Wilson. Nice.
I stay in contact with a lot of them. All of them, like they have a good game, I might shoot them a text. They do something real, I shoot them a text. Stuff like that. But I didn't I've seen them. A lot of these girls when they were like super young.
Yeah.
Like I remember Asia Wilson. This is hilarious. You're gonna love this. The first year that Dawn went to South Carolina, first year she had her camp. We was talking. She said, "P, you want to work my camp?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." So I took a couple kids. I can't remember, but I remember I went to work her camp, and it was hilarious, man. Woo-wee, man! I'm talking that camp was hard. I'm like, God, dog. I don't remember doing a whole lot of work, but I just remember that it was like military style, man. That thing was on point. Everything was boom, boom, boom. But on my team, I had Asia Wilson. She was in like the 7th or 8th grade. And she was killing. She was still had the size. She wasn't as thick. She was kind of skinny, but she was killing. I'm like, Dawn, who is this girl? Because I never seen her before. And I'm like, man, she gonna be a heck of a high school player. I said, what is she, like a junior? She said, no, B, she a 7th grade. I was like, what?
Like, in 7th grade.
At what height was she?
She had to be about 6'2" then. She had to be about 6'2".
In 7th grade.
And she was putting in work. I'm like, wait a minute, hold up, girl. I had to go back and look at my rock. I'm like, you in the 7th grade? She was like, yeah. I'm like, Lord, have mercy. She gonna be a baller.
What would you say at that age would separate, or like you said earlier, they have the it factor. I know you said they might die for loose balls. At that age, is it still as noticeable?
Yeah, you can tell the one that's gonna be really good, because a lot of it, like with Asia, even at the 7th grade, most girls at 6'2" and at 7th grade, they're probably not as attuned to their body. Like guys, a lot of them, you can tell they're gonna be athletes, and girls might be at that height, they need a little awkward, whatever. Nah, not with Asia.
Not here.
I mean, only thing was she just needed to add strength because she wasn't that strong, typical, because she's a 7th grader. But she was shooting jumpers. She was taking shots that, clutch shots, like the game be on the line. She wanted the ball in her hand at the 7th grade, and she was playing against, high school kids. So you was like, okay. And same thing I remember with Asia, and I remember seeing Asia probably around that same age. And their game is mature. Their bodies may not always be mature, but they played mature. And when you look at a kid in 7th grade and you think they're junior high school, what they?
Yeah.
And I think Arike was like that. When I first saw Arike Gumbawale, we was at I think me and Mark Lewis, it was a tournament down in Orlando. Mm-hmm. And I knew she was young, but man, bruh, she had on 24, and when she finished, matter of fact, I gave her nickname that she has now. I gave it to her that day. I called her the Baby Mamba, because she had on, man, look, she had on 24, but everybody can wear 24. Man, God dang it, she played. Bruh, she was shooting threes, attacking. I don't remember passing too much that day, though. But I was like, I interviewed her after the game. I said, your favorite player got to be Kobe Bryant. I said, I know you got on 24. I said, that's got to be your favorite player. Yeah, he is. And I've been calling her Baby Mamba ever since. So like some of them, you can tell when they're young, you can tell that, because all you got to do when you just watch some of their athleticism and watch the drive and their attitude, and especially middle school, they will set themselves apart. You be like, yeah, she got a chance. And then the only thing you can't really tell, a lot of times when you see them, if you don't see a lot, is you don't know what kind of mentality they have. Do they have the mentality to get better? Because you see some kids that look good young, and then they plateau. They just stay here because they don't put their work in. But like I said, the more you're around them, even like with when I met Arike, you can see it. Because I'm telling you, she was gonna take the last shot if the game was on the line. She wanted the ball in her hand, even way back when. A lot of times, kids at a young age, what do? When the game's on the line, a lot of them shy away from the game, or you get ghosts. You don't see them with the ball in their hand, and they don't want to touch the ball. And then the same thing they you can tell on the defensive end too. What
attracted you to women basketball? Like what was the instinct to just say, you know what, let me focus here, and that for me, I'm interested, a little more of.
Yeah. Well, my kids, I think my kids used to go to this one daycare, and at the time it was just me. My wife, my first wife had passed away, and I ended up putting them in this one daycare, and the lady's sister, the lady who owned it, her sister was the high school coach, and she used to she had seen like. She knew I used to play ball with the military and all this kind of stuff, and like she knew. Okay. I guess some of the people I play against knew her. I didn't know her, and she just kept saying, "I want you to come and volunteer coach with me." Mm-hmm. I was like, and her team was well known, one of the top teams in Alabama. It was Carver High School. They were loaded. In fact, she's about to go to Hall of Fame this year. But nice. She kept asking me, and I was like, "Nah, I'm good. No, I'm good." But so I went to a practice. And I watched them girls. I mean, they were talented. Oh man, they were talented. I think we ended the first year. We went to the Final Four, lost in the Final Four. Wow. But I watching just the purity of the game. Like I said, it was just pure basketball. You can tell they all played hard. And I played ball with the boys and men, and that, I know attitudes. I remember one guy on our team. His attitude was so jacked up. At the end of the game, like end of the half or end of the quarter, clock's running down. You throw the ball. You just throw the ball at the rim and see if it go in, right?
Yeah.
This buster would not take that shot to save his life. And I used to ask him, "Man, what's wrong with you?" He was like, "I ain't messing up my percentage."
Wow.
He was already thinking about it. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, "Are you for real?" He was like, "Yeah." I'm like, "You don't make the shots when you ain't in the half court. You worry about the But that right there with girls, they don't care about that. These girls anyway, they just wanted to play basketball. Yes. And they wanted to learn. Like I said, with boys, you gotta work. Most boys do what? They working on how to get their dunk, what type of dunk they gonna do, and all that stuff. And I would watch the high school boys team. You know what? Honestly, it just the purity of the girls made me want to do it. I rarely watched, like, our girls would play and the boys would play afterwards. And our boys team was really good. Yeah. Man, listen to me. I rarely watched them boys play. After our game, I went home. Right? Just the period of the game. Now, I'm going to tell you one boys team I did watch. JaMychal Green that plays for the Nuggets now, that was with the Clippers last year. Mm-hmm. He went to school with my oldest son. And they I would watch them play when they played our boys. They were like a 2A or 1A or 2A team, and our school was the highest level, 6A. Man, what? Listen, JaMychal Green was the truth.
He's that man.
Man, I would stay and watch him like because they played the game the right way. Yeah. Even though JaMychal could take the ball and shoot every time or dunk on somebody just about every play, they were a team. And it was just the purity of the game. And so to me, for the girls' side, it was just easier. It just seemed like the girls wanted to learn more. They were like sponges, and they, and then like it was just pure. Like I remember the boys' team, but they, "Coach, why don't you get a summer league team or a travel team so we can play for you?" I'm like, "Man, I've been to cuss every one of y'all out every day." I was like, "Y'all ain't about to mess up my blood pressure." I'm sticking with the girls, man. That's funny. But it was just the purity of the game, man. I just thought it. And then one thing you don't know, I'm a media. I work Blue Star Media, and I still do media stuff too. So I've been like to every Final Four, man. And probably like every one. I think I might have missed one in the last 10 years. I worked the Final Four, so I get to talk to the players in. And it's funny, like when Notre Dame won, I talked to Arike. I was in the locker room, I was hanging out with her and Neil Ivy and all of them, because I've been knowing them all for years. So it was fun for me to go in there and just interview Arike, and we just talked for a while, and it was just so cool. Stuff like that. It's probably why I love the game, women's basketball. I don't think that would happen if I did that on the boys' side.
I saw also the interactions you have with a lot of the coaches, like people from the Washington Mystics coach to another WNBA coach, or could be an NCAA coach. How has that been, the importance of building connections for you to be successful at where you're at right now, with your company and your podcast? Like, how do you feel about that connection or the importance of it?
Well, it's important. One, like, remember I said earlier, it's about you got to be genuine with people. You got to be genuine. And a lot of those, I don't ask them for anything. You know what I mean? I don't ask them for nothing. It's just genuine, and they know They know my heart. They know I've been, like I said, I've been doing this girls basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Lord, since what, 2002?
Okay.
And they know I have the biggest thing. I have a relationship with the players too, with
Yes.
the kids,
Mm-hmm.
and not just the kids, but with the whole family.
Mm.
You know, like as they get like once they like we'll develop a relationship in high school and then college, and then when they go to the pros, a lot of times I'll get phone calls. Hey, what you think? What you think about doing this? What you think about advice on the? Should I do this? And I get a lot of calls sometimes on their school choices.
Wow. Okay.
And like I tell everybody, I'm not picking nobody's school because you're gonna be mad at me later on. But I will give them advice. Like I tell them, hey, you know what? You should be able to ask. While that coach is talking to you, you should be able to ask them whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't want to answer that question, then guess what? Them not answering it answered your question. You know, and people get upset, but this is the women's game. I was like,
yeah.
If you want to play for a male coach, then tell them that. If you want to play for a female coach, then tell them that. In the recruiting process, you should be able to ask whatever you want. If you want to say, hey, coach, how many years you got left on your contract?
They have to answer that.
Well, they don't have to. But if they don't, then you don't go.
Yeah. It has to be genuine. Understandable.
You know because they're going to ask you whatever they want to ask you.
True. They want you. They know that they need you.
Yeah, because at the bottom line, say I want to go to this one school, and I'm hearing that the coach may have 1-2 years left on his contract or her contract. So I need to know, you going to get an extension? I don't want to sign and then got to worry about it. You know, they can sit there and say you signed with the institution. That's BS. The institution ain't recruiting you. The coach is.
Yeah.
That's stuff the NCAA say. Well, you know, you signed with the institution, so you got to sit out when you're. No. The institution didn't recruit you. The coaches did. So if that coach is going to be there 1 year and then gone, then you may not want to go there.
Yeah.
It was weird that you said that because that was kind of a question that I had for you on the importance of, you know, I know you're a national evaluator, scout, and all that, but when you're in that coaching mindset, I can tell you're what we call a player's coach. You know,
no doubt.
And to me personally, I definitely can speak for Daniel on this too. We're both players that kind of we feed off that player coach vibe.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
so I know that a couple of the guests that we had on here have told us the importance of having that relationship with your coach. My question to you is, how important is having that relationship with your players and knowing the families and knowing, because you're a prime example. These girls are going on to playing professional basketball at the highest level and still having that, still telling you, hey, you know, what should I do here? What should I do there? So that's a prime example. But I kind of, my question to you is just kind of personal. How important and what can you tell our audience as well as us so we can learn on the importance of being that mentor for these young ladies? And I mean, I'm pretty sure males have asked you the same thing, you know, male athletes as well.
Yeah. Well, to me, it's important because a lot of times if you're coaching a kid, it's more than just, it's got to be more than just player-coach relationship, because at the end of the day, the parents are trusting you to look out and take care of their kids. If you don't know anything about that kid personally, how can you help them? Look, y'all, I'm sorry, I can't do nothing for y'all. I said, I wouldn't send my kid there because there's nobody there that can relate to your child that's on staff. And I don't care who his mama was. Because I remember when he got the job, I was like, listen to me, y'all. I said, at the age of 26, first of all, his head coach at the previous school got fired. Your previous coach got fired. What qualifies you to get a head coaching job?
Yeah.
26 just because of your name? You feel me? And I was like, all that shady to me off the bat. See, so it was easy for me to be like, nah, that ain't gonna work out. See, some of the stuff that would get me when they was trying to bring up his qualifications. People, they were saying stuff like, well, he sat on the bench with his mama for X amount of years. I was like, wait a minute. I said the last time his mama won a national championship, he was 8.
True. This is true.
How did he learn at 8 years old to make him a head coach?
Man, that's tough.
I was like, man, y'all need to stop, man. Stuff like, I'm like, you know, people, they were killing me, man. I had some head coaches in the business hitting me up, man. They were like, P, you shouldn't be saying that. I'm like, I'm just telling the truth. I said, if you don't like it, don't listen. I said, just don't make sense to me. I was like, that ain't gonna work out. And when it didn't work out, I feel bad. But I damn sure said I told y'all so.
Well, Prentice, I mean, that's such an incredible experience just to hear. I wish Tyler Summit the best of luck as well. Hopefully he can bounce back.
Yeah, no doubt. No
you know
doubt.
what I mean? But we've come to the end of the segment of our show now where we do the this or that special edition. And we do this with, and I've kind of tweaked it to get more of the women power in this podcast a little more. So I'll give you one or the other, and you tell us which one fits best for you. And then the last one is you'll be able to build your team, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. All right. Ooh. So question number 1, we'll put timer on the clock. Pretend it's there. Okay, we'll go ahead. WNBA or NBA?
WNBA.
Okay. NCAA women or WNBA?
Ooh. You know what? What is an NCAA tournament or just NCAA period?
NCAA's women's programs period. If that helps you.
It's still tough. I still would probably say WNBA.
Okay. We have East Coast or West Coast?
Oh, that's not right. I'm gonna go off the board. Southeast.
Okay. Southeast it is. Hey, that's what's up. It's warm. Okay. Waffles or pancakes? Waffles? Okay. Yeah. Gatorade or water?
What kind of Gatorade?
Okay. What's your favorite color then? Would you prefer that over water?
Citrus Gatorade, yeah.
Okay. And then now we've come to the part where you tell us build your top 5 WNBA team.
Oh, that's just mean. Oh God. Oh, all time or current?
Like your point guards all the way to number 5. All time.
All time team.
All time team.
Oh, that's easy.
Okay.
See, this is not fair because I know most of them.
This does not mean he likes one more than the other. This is spur of the moment. We chased him down and asked him.
I gotta go with Cynthia Cooper.
Ooh.
Okay.
Jeez. You gotta go with Cheryl Swoops. This may be a Houston Common team. Gotta go with Swoops. I love my girl Tina Thompson. I just talked to her the other day.
Another one.
Okay.
Oh man, 2 more, huh?
2 more, 4 and 5. Who are your forward?
Man,
your forward post and your center.
Well, Tina. Well, Tina can play both.
True.
Okay.
So, do you want to add someone else in the 3 then, just in case?
No, don't make it hard on me. Jesus, man, that's tough. You know who I like? Just and it goes back to that dog.
All right.
I gotta rock with Diana Taurasi, baby. She got that dog in her, man. It's hard to keep her off. Oh man.
Yes,
so center, I would probably go with Lisa Leslie.
Ooh, nice.
Can I have one more? Can I have one?
Yeah, we'll give you a 6 player of the year. Who's your all-time 6?
I gotta go with my other girl, Tamika Catchings, because she here this year. She be mad at me too.
Let's go, Duncanville, Texas. Shout out to Tamika Catchings.
She was a problem for sure.
Yeah, and she gonna defend too, so that makes it easy.
Sir. Man, that's awesome.
That'd be my 6.
Nice. Can't be mad at it.
Yeah, I can't. You can't. That's tough because of how many more good players are still developing and changing the game. Yeah. You know what I mean? And
that's what I said all time and not current.
Yeah. Do you want to do a current?
I could if you want me to.
Let's do a current.
Let's do it.
Top 5 current.
Well, Diana Taurasi is on the current too. But since I already picked her, we'll let her rock where she's at.
Okay.
Adrian Wilson, no doubt. I love me some Adrian Wilson.
Okay.
Point guard. Oh man, I'm just thinking of point guards. I'm gonna be selfish. I you know what? I still love my girl Arike, even though.
Yeah, I was about to say, you're not gonna put Arike in there.
Oh yeah, I gotta put Arike. She's probably more of a. She's probably more of a 2. You know who I love too? Mm-hmm. She was an All-Star Cup. You go Diamond.
Diamond DeShields is good. Chicago.
Yeah, girl. I love it. Diamond. Yeah. Double D. I call her Double D. Let me see who else we got. Post players. Current. Ooh. Well, I got Asia. Asia's in there, but Asia could be a forward or center. Man, that's tough. Man, I'm just thinking. I'm going through the league right now, on top of my head.
I'm trying to think like Candace Parker or.
Yeah, you know what? I like Candace. I got to put Candace in there.
Yeah.
I probably should have Candace on the other team, but yeah.
That's
I went by favorites. Who I got? I got Arike, Asia Wilson, Candace Parker. You know who one of my favorite players is?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the Shield.
Yeah.
I love Christy Tolliver. I've always loved Christy Tolliver.
Okay. The general, yes. I love her.
So I'm staying out of trouble because you know what? I actually do a 3-on-3. Y'all need to come check it out. I do a 3-on-3 every year at Venice Beach with the LA Sparks. We do one every year. We didn't get to do it this year.
I will be there.
We do a middle school division, high school division. Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Because we do it in conjunction with one of their WNBA games. Like we'll have it like on that Saturday.
Okay.
And this, like I said, it's on Venice Beach, man. We down there playing where they had white man can't jump, man. I love this tournament.
Yeah.
Get 3-on-3, and then we normally it's during that time frame. I'll let y'all guys know for sure. Because I think
please do.
I just had a call with them the other day to figure out the dates that we're gonna do it on.
Okay.
So once we get the dates in, I'll let you guys know. But we normally do it in conjunction with a game. Like we would do the 3-on-3 that Saturday, and then we recognize the winners and stuff like that Sunday at the Staples Center.
Right, you're in Cali right now. Yeah, and I know it's tough. I know it's tough.
Well,
over
you know
there.
what? Oh, in Cali we ain't doing nothing because they ain't playing. But I still got 3 tournaments that I ran this year in Alabama. That's where I started out. That's always trying to take a tournament back there. I had a Thanksgiving tournament. Just had the after Christmas tournament, and I'm going back on the 18th. I have a MLK Classic.
We want to thank you again on behalf of our crew and just of everybody watching.
Thank you so much.
I know you're a busy and important man, so the fact that you took 50 minutes out of 50 minutes out of your time to talk to us, and I mean honestly, I've had a blast. I've learned a lot just in this hour that we've been with you, and I mean we're here. Hopefully we get to keep building our relationship with you and get to know you. Hopefully we get to see you.
Day.
Hopefully we get to
day.
see you.
All
you know
day.
what I'm saying, after COVID, I mean I'm excited to
we can make that happen.
Yeah, to be able to meet you.
You're gonna be in San Diego, so that's hey, I told you.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in San Diego.
San Diego.
Well, yeah, hopefully, if we get to link up, that would be a blessing on my behalf to kind of sit down and talk to you and learn more. But yeah, we definitely want to thank you. We have all your information to where anybody can subscribe to, your Twitter, your Instagram, all that good stuff. Get to know your podcast as well. We have everything there for our followers. So again, I personally want to thank you and for taking the time, and I really enjoyed it. I know we all did. So I hope that you have a good year and that we stay in contact.
For sure.
Definitely. Thank you. I appreciate you guys, man, and gals. My bad. Stay blessed, and I definitely appreciate you. And anything I can do, give me a holler, man. I got you.
Thank you
yes,
so
sir.
much.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
Take care. Awesome.
Man, what an awesome interview. Chills to just hear so many great WNBA players, and especially to find somebody with the passion of the game and just pushing that. Man. I love that. Thank you again to Prentice Beverly for being with us, being able to learn more about the women's basketball world. If you are a true supporter, you're definitely going to want to tune into this episode. Make sure you show your love to Prentice Beverly and follow him on ballin_prep. And we just want to say our goodbyes from Undrafted Podcast as we sign off with you guys. This is Mel Tarasi.
I'm Coach Danny.
And I'm Kev.